what does service mean for you? What does that look like?
Yeah. So, I'm more of the school of, John Maxwell, servant leadership. So it's about, investing in other people, wanting to see other people succeed. And I actually found the most joy when I was leading people, when I had a team at work. I had about 12 direct reports. Anytime somebody came to me and they said, this is what I want to grow to in my career, this is the level I want to get to, helping them get to that stage. That's where I found the most joy, was seeing them succeed. So it's like one person wanted to be an account executive. So well, how do we get you there? Well, there's some trainings you could do. You get certified. You go do a ride-along with an account executive to see what that job is actually like. And then when they actually get the job after the interview process, and you help them, practice the interview, and then they go in and they nail it. You just feel so good for that person to see them succeed. And that's the kind of service I like. I like to help others succeed, because then I feel like I've fulfilled something in myself as well, right?
Yeah.
And it goes back to my faith too. We're supposed to serve others. Just as Jesus served the disciples, just as he served us, sacrificed himself for us. As a Christian, I believe we're supposed to serve our community. Yeah. And so that's the kind of leadership I want. Again, going back to people-focused leadership. I'm here to serve people. I'm not here to serve, this, pie in the sky the dreams machine, of building these skyscrapers and things like that, or cool new buildings. I'm here for people. Yeah. So
how does that leadership transfer or translate over to people that may not see eye to eye with you on political beliefs?
Yeah. So again, it goes back to seeing value in every human being. Someone that is diametrically opposed to me, I still see value in them. Yeah. Right. So I look at it from a spiritual lens. So I have to separate. I'm not fighting against flesh and blood. I'm not fighting this human being opposed to me. There's a spirit here between us that is diametrically opposed. Yeah. Right. So they could have a demonic spirit, or they could have a dark spirit or something, what I'm saying? So it's positive and negative, but it's not. You have to remind myself, this person has value. I'm not fighting that person. I'm fighting this mentality. And so it's listening and trying to understand where they're coming from. Usually, like in HR, when I'm doing investigations or I'm interviewing people, they'll come in and their emotions are heightened. Yeah. So it's how do you diffuse that situation first of all, and then you try to understand. You ask questions, understand the why. So you're thinking critically, you're analyzing the situation, and you're trying to find that nugget of truth. What is it that led you to this mentality? Yeah. This state of mind. And sometimes it's valid, and sometimes it's just heightened emotions, right? Sure. But it's trying to get past the name calling, the cursing, all of that, to try to understand where they're coming from. Yeah. And then, like I said, we can find common ground. Yeah. And so let's come to consensus. And that's the kind of leader I want to be.
Yeah. I think most of the time you can find common ground with people, especially when you get the emotions out of it. Yeah. The biggest thing I always tell people is when you're approaching somebody about an issue or a problem, going at them with, open arms rather than your fists up and throwing punches. As soon as you elevate their emotions, they put a wall up. If you go on the offensive, they immediately get defensive. You can see that in your kids too. Oh, man. Yeah. I feel like having
know
just
kids, what buttons to push for the kids. Too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I feel like having kids is one of the most eye-opening experiences on how to deal with people, because at every level, or at the lowest level of what it is you're dealing with your 3-year-old child. When people get emotional,
your 3-year-old self.
Yeah. When people get emotional, that's what you're dealing with. Right, yeah. And so knowing how to, but the difference is they can reason, right? Well, we would at least hope most people can reason, but they can reason. So if you get past that emotion and then keep them from putting a defensive wall up, usually people are actually pretty open to hearing what you have to say. But I think when all you try to do is go at people offensively, which I think a lot of people do, and that's what social media feeds on, right? They don't want to hear somebody going, "Oh, let me hear your opinion, and then let me speak my opinion." No, they want to hear the guys going, and this comes from both sides. They want to hear the guys going, "Screw the liberals, we love guns, we love freedom, Trump, all that kind of stuff." And then from the other side, "Hey, we love, drag shows, and we want drag shows in schools so the kids can see that," and that's offensive to the other side, and if you guys, let's lower the emotion a little bit, and let's talk and figure out, okay, what kind of issues are in these schools? Do you think that's going to help that issue or exacerbate it?
Right.
And I think we get, especially when it comes to kids and sexuality and things like that, they don't need to know that they don't need to figure that out until they're older.
Right.
Let them figure that out as they're adults and as they have a brain that can rationalize.
Yes.
Because they can't rationalize at 5 years old or even 10 years old.
I would argue from 18 to 21 you can't rationalize.
No.
But at least 18 they would be of legal age.
Right. So. Right. At least at that point they're legal age. I think they should raise that legal age, by the way. Yeah. Adults should not be until you're 21. And even then, that's pushing it because 25 is when you're fully developed.
Yeah. I might have been 30. So.
Yeah. It's I'm right there with you. I think maybe 20, maybe 29.
Yeah.
I also had kids really young, so that helped the situation a little bit.